So let's get down to it. We're going to start with the Heroes play. So 4 through 6, go ahead and take out your script, and here we go. We're going to start by marking out the beginning, middle, and ending of our script, just like I was just talking about. So here's how I see the beginning of our script. Really, the beginning of any script is, it ends, which is the hardest part, where most of the characters have already entered. So for our purposes, the beginning of our script starts with the club director saying, "Hey, how was your day? Ready for business tonight? We should have quite a crowd." So you are going to mark with brackets. So you're going to draw a line out, down, and to the side underneath the next line that I tell you. So the first part of your bracket goes above the club director's very first line on your first page of your script. And then we are going to go with that longer line all the way down. We're going to wait till almost everyone is in the play. And I see the beginning of this script, beginning of the play, ending after Gaston says the words, "Better luck next time." This seems like a really good piece of action that stops right here. So we're going to put our line underneath Gaston's line, "Better luck next time." Okay, so let's move on to the middle of the story and where that ends. So again, the beginning is right before the club director's first line on page 1, and then we're going to go all the way down, I've been marking this on my computer, to page number 2, and the beginning of our script, so the first unit, ends after Gaston's line, "Better luck next time." Okay, so moving on to the middle of our story, we're going to start our next unit, Unit 2. Before we move on to Unit 2, when we did the Unit 1, go ahead and put the number 1 out to the left of that. So you have your unit marked with a bracket here, and you're going to put the number 1 out next to it. Okay, so the middle of our script is going to be Pinocchio's Pinocchio's line after Gaston's, where he says, "How did you get in here?" So we're going to put our line right here, and then we're going to draw a line all the way down. We're going to go all the way past page to the bottom of page number 3. This is a really weird spot to start, to end our second unit. Sometimes this happens. Units can also be more than just the beginning, middle, and ending of a script, but for our purposes, it's just going to be the easiest way to tell a unit. So Unit 2 is going to end after Drizella's line, "I never." She takes off the wig and she walks away. So you're going to have your bracket going down, and your next line will be underneath Drizella's line, "I never." This is at the bottom of page number 3. And go ahead and put the number 2 out to the left of that unit, so you know this is unit number 2. Before we get to the bottom unit, high schoolers, villains, I haven't forgotten about you. We're going to move over to your play and do your first 2 units. Okay, so the high school play, my villains, your first unit starts with the club director's first line, and they say, "Okay, first time with the villains all together. We have to do this right. Do we have the rules?" That's Ethan's line. So your first unit's going to start with a line, a bracket, right before that first line. So you're going to draw a line above it, draw a line down, and we are going to go, again, we're looking for when most of the characters have entered. So I think in this case, trying to see. Yeah, most of the characters are in by this time. So we are going to go all the way down through page 2. So go ahead and put a line all the way down, because that's still one unit. And we are going to go to page number 3, and about middle of the way down, our first unit's going to end after Flynn Rider's line, "Details, details." Now let me show you how it's really done. So that would be after Garrett's line there is going to be the end of our first unit. So go ahead and draw a line under that. Make sure you connect it to the line that's been running down. You're going to put unit number 1 to the left of it. Okay, so that, again, unit number 1 for the villains play, before Ethan's first line, and then all the way down halfway through page number 3, after Garrett's line, "Details, details." That's unit number 1. Okay, so this is going to be the beginning of our script. All right, villains, we're going to do unit number 2, so this is the middle of your script. Your unit number 2, your bracket's going to start before the Queen of Hearts line, "I want my tarts now." So this is Livy's line, "I want my tarts now." This is going to start our unit number 2. You're going to draw a line all the way down. We're going to go to page number 4. And I'm sorry, I'll try to slow down a little bit so you have time to do this. You can also pause the video and go back if you missed something, and let me know if something's confusing, and we'll chat about it. So unit number 2 is going to go all the way down, so we're on page number 4 now. Making sure I have this right on my script. Okay, and unit number 2, so the middle of our story is going to end. Unit number 2 will end after Cruella's line, so that's what really happened. So this is after Shalea's line, so that's what really happened. So go ahead and draw your line under that, connect it with your bracket that's been running up, write the number 2 to the side. All right, we're going to switch back to Heroes and do the last part. So this is really easy. You guys can do this on your own. So unit number 3, draw a line above the stage directions. Hook and Gothel enter, pretending to be Kristoff and Anna. So that's the bottom of page number 3 in the Heroes play. Draw your line all the way down to the bottom of the script. Draw your last line underneath Darcy as the Mad Hatter's line, have some tea, and Drizella catches the cup. And put the number 3 out to the side. Villains, you can go ahead and do the same thing. This is your last unit. Is during this conversation, Sheriff makes a move to steal from Jadis's purse. And you go all the way down with your line, all the way under the club director Ethan's line, what have I done? Put a 3 out to the side. Alright guys, we just marked our units, so yay, awesome job. Okay, so we're going to talk about beats. We're not going to go through both scripts and do each little beat within a unit. So remember what I was just saying, a beat is a change of action, and that can be something really small. This is something that happens within a unit, and the beats never cross over into a different unit. So you can't have a beat that runs from unit 1 into unit 2. You can't have a beat that runs from unit 2 into unit 3. And a unit's obviously not the entire script. Makes no sense. Okay, so let's start with the Heroes play. We're going to jump back over to you. So go back up to the very beginning of your script. We're going to mark out a few beats together, and then your homework for the rest of the day is to mark the rest of your script with the beats. And we'll talk about a little bit why we should use beats in units. All right, let's start. So, first couple lines, I think, are its own beat. When club director says your first line, so William, you say, hey, how was your day? Ready for business tonight? We should have quite a crowd. I think this is the start of the first beat, obviously. Now I want you to look at these first 3 lines, because these first 3 lines are a beat in itself, but the beat's going to end in the middle of the club director's second line. So I want you to take a look at that. Think, where is this action changing? Here are some clues to find where action changes to help you decide where a beat should end. When an actor or the character goes to move, that's usually a change in a beat. When a character goes to talk to someone different, so if they've been talking to one person and now they're talking to this other person, that's usually a change in a beat. If they're changing thoughts, so let's say that the character has just been talking about tarts and then they decide to go talk about tea. That's a change in a thought. It's probably a change in a beat. So be on the lookout for that. Beats can be a couple lines long. It can be 3 or 4 lines long. You can have 2 beats in the same line, and that's totally acceptable. When you're marking beats, what you are going to do is do parentheses or maybe a smaller bracket. So in the Heroes play, your first bracket will start with club director's line, hey, how was your day? And I hope you've been looking at his second line, because when the club director says, they're not so bad, grab another chair, will you? There's a distinct change in action. So there's a change in this character. They've been talking to the club assistant, Summer. Now they're going to shift their focus to Goldilocks. So the beat ends right when the club director says, grab another chair, will you? So that is a beat. So the beat from club director's first line, hey, how was your day? Till the club director's second line, grab another chair, will you? Is 1 beat, encompasses the club assistant's first line. So Violet, that's your first line, is in that first beat as well. Okay, so let's jump over to the villains play, and Heroes, go ahead and think through where the second beat would happen in your play, and we'll come right back to you. All right, villains, I hope you've been looking at your play, thinking about where is this first beat here. All right, so let's start with the club director's first line. Ethan, your line, okay, first time with villains all together. We have to do this right. Do we have the rules? So that's definitely the start of the first beat. And I kind of think there is a change in thought from what the club assistant was saying, going through the rules and the fake rule that she threw in, and the club assistant saying, given what happened last night, I think if we don't do it. So let's say that our first beat starts with the club director's first line and ends after the club assistant, so Callie, after your second line. So it would end, given what happened last night, I think if we don't do it, more and more of them are going to crash Heroes Night. So we're going to call those first 4 lines there our first beat. So you're going to put brackets around those first 4 lines and go ahead and write out to the right side. So remember, we were writing the unit numbers to one side and then the beats to the other side. It really doesn't matter which side you put them on as long as they're not on the same side. So don't write unit number 1, beat number 1 right here. So that's confusing for you. It's not going to be helpful. So unit number 1, and we've got beat number 1 over here. So you can even write the word beat 1, you can write unit 1, whatever makes it easy for you. All right, villains, go ahead and look at where your second beat would happen. I'm going to move over to heroes. Okay, so heroes, here we go. So we decided that our first beat ends after the club director's line, grab another chair, will you? So we're going to put a bracket starting around the part of the line. Oh, hey, Goldie, thanks so much for helping us out tonight. Kitchen is all set up. Would you mind making some punch for the heroes? And then we are going to go all the way down for our second beat until Goldie's line. Oh, so heroes can't make mistakes now? And I kind of think so this is when it's kind of up to you as the actor. You can decide that her beat changes right here before she says the second question. Did you hear Pinocchio got kicked out last night? Or we could keep going with this beat. So let's keep going with the beat just to make us all on the same page. So the second beat's gonna start. Oh, hey Goldie, thanks so much for helping. We're gonna go all the way down until when Goldie leaves, because there is a change in character here and Belle comes in. So when Goldie says, and she says, sure wish there was a villain's night, that's going to be the end of our second beat. So go ahead and put your brackets here. And as I was telling the villains play, you're going to want to write the unit numbers to one side and the beat numbers to the other side. So don't put them on the same side. It's going to be confusing for you. Okay, so we're going to jump back over to villains and let's see where our second beat was. Hope you guys have been checking this out. All right, so the club director starts with the line, we have the anti-magic field on, right? Where did you find it anyway? And this is really easy to tell when the second beat changes because the club director runs off the stage and Goldilocks enters. So your second beat would end with the club director's line, wait, what? Club director runs off stage, and that would be the end of your second beat. Okay, so now both of these classes have gone through a couple beats and we've marked out the units. What I would love for you to do when we finish this video is to go ahead and mark the rest of your script with the beats and the units. And now I said we're going to talk about why we do this. Because this makes it easier for you as the actor to first of all, break down the script into easy chunks to memorize. So sometimes this can look really daunting, especially when you get into professional theater and they give you a script that's like 50 or 60 pages. That's really hard to memorize it all. But if you mark out beats and units, it makes it easier to memorize. You're like, oh, okay, I'm memorizing unit 1 right now, I'm memorizing unit 2, memorizing unit 3, so on and so on. So this is one of the reasons, because in a few weeks when we are all back together, we're just going to jump right into lines need to be memorized. So we're going to jump into no scripts. I know it's a little intense, but since we're going to be, we're losing some weeks here, that's what we're going to do. So stay tuned for that. So it helps us to memorize. It also helps you as the actor get a good feel for what your character is going through. So we're going to take a little bit of time now and talk about, so we've done some script analysis, we're going to do the tiniest bit of character and background, and next week I'm going to have a video for you that's character analysis, so get ready for that. We're going to jump into some goat sheets, which I haven't done for maybe a year, but it's one of my favorite things to do, so we're going to do it. So let's talk about character and then I will let you go. So we're going to take the character of Drizella, since she is in both plays, and so Livy, you're going to have a little bit of an edge here. We're going to take your character and talk about her background. Now, the great thing about these characters is, except for club assistant, club director, you've got a ton of material to work with into studying your character. So while you're stuck at home, look up for some books, maybe check out some movies that you have. If you got Disney Plus, it's a great resource. Watch your characters' movies. Ask your adults to help you look for information about these characters on the internet. Learn about your character. Learn as much as you can. It's going to help you as an actor. So back to Drizella. So in the Heroes play, she is trying to sneak into the club. So we're going to talk about, first of all, why she's doing what she's doing. She wants to find true love, and we really come to realize this in the Villains play. So she thinks that by making it to the Heroes Club, she'll find a prince and find true love. So that's something that you can hold on to as an actor, this inner motivation. So we're going to use the term motivation, objective next week. So those are some things we're going to be talking about. So that's just a little bit of a sneak peek. What we're going to do next week, we're going to be doing character analysis. For today and the rest of the week, go ahead and mark out your beats and units in your script. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to send me an email. You can comment below. Have your adults send me an email. You've also all have my phone number. Feel free to text, call, whatever you need to do. I am here to help. Stay safe, stay healthy, have a good time with your families, and I will see you next week. Thank you.